Hi, my name is Enrique. Here at Empower Brokerage, we have many questions and we also have many solutions. So today's topic is going to be on long-term care. And specifically, someone asked me, what could be some of the financial burdens of long-term care? Well, first of all, let's talk about what it is and what it covers. So it is not life insurance, it is not disability income insurance, and certainly it's not medical insurance. So there are 6 daily living activities, and most of you can think about these already. When I say daily living activities, can we change ourselves? Can we get out of our chair and into a bed? That's transferring. Can we feed ourselves, take our medications, things of that nature. So the other thing that's taken into consideration is cognitive impairment. So if someone is diagnosed with a cognitive impairment, Alzheimer's, something like that, then that would also be a trigger for long-term care needs. So those are the daily living activities. If a person cannot do 2 out of those 6, there are 6, I didn't cover them all, but there are 6. If you're not able to do 2, then you would qualify, or should I say, file a claim for long-term care benefits. Most of us think that the government takes care of long-term care. It does, but you do have to be poor. In other words, you have to divest yourself of all of your assets to fall under Medicaid, and that's how you'd be able to get long-term care for yourself. Unfortunately, you won't have much of a choice if that's the case as far as facility, the type of care. So many times people think, especially if they have the ability to take care of some planning ahead of time, that way they have some choices. Now, before I forget, that the long-term care needs can be at your home. Continuing on with the long-term care being covered by the government. So if you are under Medicare, you have to be 65 and older. And then you do have maybe 60 days, 90 days of coverage, but then after that, there's no more coverage for long-term care needs. And that is if someone needs to take care of you at home, cook, help you with feeding yourself, your meds, etc. So there's temporary coverage under Medicare. As I mentioned a moment ago, to have the coverage you need for long-term, as far as time period, then you'd have to be under Medicaid. And as I mentioned a moment ago, again, you have to divest yourself of any assets that you may have. Take a look at some of those options. You're going to have a few carriers that offer long-term care. Now, I'll just go over those very quickly. So there's traditional, and traditional is the most affordable. And the next one would be a hybrid. And that hybrid could be a IUL with long-term care rider. I say that slowly because, again, it's a life insurance, Index Universal Life, with a long-term care rider. Another hybrid to consider would be a single premium long-term care solution, and that in that category, there's even 2. One could be a universal life with a long-term care rider, or it can be an annuity with a long-term care rider. Each one of these provide peace of mind to you, the client, if you or if you're an agent providing this type of insurance for your client. These are different solutions for them. As I mentioned, the most affordable, traditional, there's going to be no cash value, no death benefit, but the peace of mind that if you have this policy, you file a claim, you're going to have long-term care covered. Now, let's cover very quickly the financial burdens, because that's the whole point of this here, the financial burdens. Well, ask yourself, or you, the agent, ask your clients, are there assets enough to cover the needs for someone to come into your home as far as once you file a claim or have a need for long-term care? If there's someone, or do you have enough resources to pay for someone to come take care of you? Many of us think of that, well, our family's going to take care of us, but now that we have extended families living throughout the U.S., that may not be practical. So if you have the need for it, then again, you may have to exhaust your resources, sell your assets in order to pay for that. If you had a policy that would cover these needs, again, I've only mentioned one example, somebody coming into your home to take care of you, to pay for those assets, to pay for those services. So the next thing would be, well, what if you needed adult daycare? So adult daycare is another example that, well, you're still living at home, but you go to a facility and they quote unquote, take care of you throughout the day, but then at the end of the day, you come back home. Well, think of being in a partnership, you're married, your spouse, and then, the one that needs the care goes off to the facility, and then at the end of the day comes back, and they're still at their home. There's also assisted living facilities where maybe the couple decides to move into a facility. Think of it as a fancy apartment, but they have people on staff and available to help you with those needs. So once again, long-term care insurance can cover that cost, whether it be at home or adult days, or the adult care facility, or even the assisted living facility. Now, the most expensive and the most burdensome, most people think, is a nursing home. A nursing home is one where they have people on staff, they have nurses on staff, and so because of that, that's one of the reasons why, or a couple of reasons why, it's one of the more expensive for a person to be in a nursing home. But keep in mind that long-term care needs are typically arise from chronic illnesses. So they they don't get better, they get a little bit worse over time. So think of it that care at home, as things get not better, but you need help, more help over time. That's why you can see the likelihood of having to progress to the different types of care. Now, I've gone through a lot of this as far as the cost of all of this. Again, there's resources that we have here at Empower Brokerage to help you determine what the average cost can be in your state or in your county or even in your city. So feel free to give us a call here at Empower Brokerage. My name is Enrique at 888-539-1633, extension 5812.